All right, guys. First off, welcome to session 0 of Tower of Archimedes. Each of your characters are currently sailing aboard the Fortune's Favor, which is a sort of entertainment / pleasure cruise of the finest cuisine, wonderful gambling and game establishments, the highest level of entertainment and shows from all across Ohio, along with comfortable suites to take you to whatever your destination may be. You all have your own specific reasons. Either you're here because you're currently working, trying to make a gold piece, you're in the middle of travels, or maybe you're trying to enjoy and relax yourself after some stressful time and stressful times and occasions in your life. But either way, you've arrived at one of the finest ships of the great journey, the Ocean of Io. And yeah, let's I would like to go ahead and get started with Tate and Summer's character. Quiet and Aria, you've arrived at the lobby. The ship has just departed after spending your last gold piece, scrounged up to take what was to be the last boat leaving the port of Ishtar after your visit over to the Exodus Academy. With that, I just kind of want to let you two do what it is that you want to do. So you both have arrived at the lobby. What are you two currently doing? You're at this like luxury lobby. You see sort of these like tacky armor plates that's decorated across the lobby. You hear the sounds to the south of what appears to be a lot of games and gambling playing. But yeah, we'll start with you two. What are you guys up to?
Arya, first of all, looks at the suits of armor and cringes.
And then Tate, what is Quiet currently doing?
Quiet will hear all the noises. His ears will kind of fall down a little bit, just to kind of mute the sound a little bit, and I guess kind of nudge Arya to start heading down here.
She grabs his hand.
All right, and I will lead her down, just kind of looking around, peeking to hear.
Yeah, you just hear the loud noises of gambling, people shouting and screaming and paying out in what is fortune coins that can be redeemed for gold. As you two head over there, I would say from above deck that Anael, excuse me, you would have descended after seeing a friend go below deck over here in this left section. So Blue, what's Anael doing right now?
Anael, they saw what, I don't know if they saw like a close up of Meryl. They saw someone that looked like Meryl. So
Right.
They went below decks kind of just as their curiosity had been piqued.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have any bags or anything. They weren't planning on making a journey. It's just like their regular like backpack or what have you, and their massive sword. And so they just walk below decks and they're kind of just peering around just in time to see the other two go down the hallway. And I think being as distractible as Anael is, they probably see all of the bells and like the hat that Arya is wearing and get distracted and immediately start following them.
You just hear this walking down the hall.
Yeah, that's definitely more than enough to get my attention. So I would probably head whichever direction I saw you. There we go. Yeah,
you would hear the sound of bells like over here as it continues to descend down to that. Meryl, Cooley, you see what appears to be a very interesting game being played over here. The dealer has simply stated it and said, place your bets, and take the offensive. A simple and fun dice game where you can bet and gamble fortune coins and redeem those coins for actual gold and gold pieces. You see this sort of half orcish man roll what appears to be 10-sided dice over on the table, and then quickly nod to roll an 8-sided dice. And at that point, you see the dealer roll an 8-sided dice, only to see that their dice is higher than the half orc, immediately causing them to lose. He growls and grumbles under his breath before he just kind of walks away and heads over to the buffet area. So, Meryl, what are you doing?
Meryl was very enthralled with what she just saw, and I think she doesn't really understand etiquette when it comes to gambling. So she wants to sit down in front of this dealer and ask as many questions about what just happened as possible.
Yeah, feel free.
Hi. I saw that some things just happened, and it was very interesting. And I want to know why he was upset, and if I can play, and I would like to play. I don't know what's going on, but I would like to play.
He nods immediately and says, "Well, some people aren't able to take the offensive as others are. Maybe you're strong enough, eh? Maybe fortune will smile upon you." And then he offers out a hand as if to expect you to place your bet of fortune coins, which you currently do not have any.
Oh, where do I get these pretty coins?
Oh, well, I could go ahead and get you some coins right now. It's going to be 5 gold pieces a coin. And then he offers a hand again. Go ahead and check your character sheet to see what your starting gold may be. I'm going to go ahead and check that as well. While I'm checking your character sheet, I'm going to head back over to Arya and Quiet. Arya and Quiet, you kind of see that the gambling room seem a little empty at first. You just saw over here a half-orc stomp off right there. As this, Meryl, why don't you go ahead and describe yourself and your appearance to those that are entering the room?
Okay. Meryl is a half-elf female who is very meek, and she's ginger, so she's got really pale blonde red hair, and she's sun-kissed and freckled and very clearly kind of jumpy and nervous, but really cute. So
Oh my god.
Yeah, so with that, I don't know if that would pique Arya or Quiet's interests at all. If it does, great. If it doesn't, don't feel pressured into it. But what are the two of you currently doing?
Well, Quiet definitely has his nose in the air, smelling food, and he's very, very hungry.
At that point, you would see, I would say, a gentleman kind of walk in, and he shouts, "Who ordered the plate of steak? Plate of steak!" And this young woman will hold up her arm before he just kind of moves over and puts the plate right in front of her. "Taking any orders, ma'am? Are you you thirsty? You hungry? What do you need right now?" Seeing that you're gambling right now, he seems to be focusing more on you first, to Meryl.
Sorry, I wanted to play this game, but I'm not sure I can afford to. But that looks really good. How much does that cost?
So figure out what's going on with your equipment, Meryl, because I don't see anything except a scimitar. So
I know, I was just looking at that. That's really weird.
Yeah, no worries. I went ahead and gave you 10 gold pieces for now.
Okay.
So that's enough to get 2 coins if you wish to do that, and then we'll figure it out later on. But yeah, go ahead and continue with what you were saying. So what was the last thing that you said?
I think Meryl has shifted her attention, her very short attention span, to the food.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she is asking how much it would be for her to eat some of that steak.
You're looking for a steak, huh? Hey, well, no worries there. Now, it looks like you're gonna be trying your luck here at this table.
Sure. Why not?
And he smiles there, and he's like, "All right, tell you what." And he just kind of like walks over and leans in. "This one's on the house," and then gives you like an over-exaggerated wink.
Thank you so much. I am so flattered.
And he nods, just like, "That steak's coming right up. Anyone else need an order of food?" And he's just screaming as he's walking around.
Could I make any sort of check to have heard him whisper that at all from here?
Absolutely.
Go
Ahead and make a perception check.
Gotcha.
First roll of the game. First roll. It's a 1. It's a
a
1.
one. Let's go.
That's a great for the rest of the campaign.
Nice.
First roll of 1. I'm excited.
Overwhelmed by the other noises, apparently.
Yeah. So you kind of hear just the sound of the casino just going everywhere. You just heard him say, and then all you heard was free. And the conclusion you can come to is that the food and gambling is free.
Okay, cool.
Just period. That's all you're able to discern as he looks around. Anyone need some food?
And Quiet will step forward. I could use some food for me and this little one here.
I see. What are you interested in? We got chicken. We got steak. We got fish.
And he'll turn back to Arya, inquisitive as to what they would want.
She kind of shrugs, but when she hears fish, she goes,
And he'll turn back and say, fish, then, please.
All right, 2 platters of fish. All right. And he holds out his hand. That'll be a gold piece.
I'm afraid I heard free.
What do you mean you heard free?
He'll embarrass, just kind of reluctantly reach for his gold pouch and pull out 2 gold pieces and hand them over. Just kind of keeping his head down.
Arya gives him a pat on the side.
He looks at the 2 gold pieces. He looks over at you, and then he looks back at Meryl. And the conclusion that he can come to is he overheard the conversation. He nods a little bit, and he says, "All right, listen there. You seem to be a lucky gen of sort. Is that true?" And he smiles. A crooked smile falls over his face.
He will squint and remain inquisitive.
"I think what you heard is that the food is free, but only if you're willing to take a chance." And then he motions his arm over to this table.
So if I gamble, then the food is free, is what you're saying.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. If you're willing to spend a little coin over at the table, I'll make sure I get you 2 hooked up with some nice fish.
He'll look back to Arya and say, make some coin, make some food. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
Arya does the empty pockets gesture to indicate she has 0 money.
Okay. And how much would I be gambling exactly then?
I'll just you can go ahead and buy a coin right there at the table. And if it's your first time, they got a nice little deal for you. Well, they'll double the coins that you could buy for your first purchase. Each one coin is 5 gold. But if you were to buy in bulk, we could perhaps give you a couple of coins, give you some free food, maybe upgrade your rooms if you do really well, eh?
At this point, Quiet will empty his gold pouch into his hand and show all of his money, which is 10 gold.
He'll give a smile and he says, "All right, head on over to the table. Let him know that Lucky Joe sent you, and we'll make sure we get you those extra coins, eh?"
Quiet will nod.
And at that point, he'll walk by.
I glare at him and I just give him the smile. And I watch him as he walks away.
He turns to you, seeing the smile, and he nods as if you were just a happy person. And then as he's walking away, you notice that your smile doesn't seem to fade from your face. He begins to walk a little slower, and then the smile on Lucky's face kind of begins to get wiped away a little bit, as he's now officially a little creeped out by you as he continues.
Jesus fucking Christ. All right, and we'll walk over to observe this game to kind of see how it's played, and we'll just kind of we'll watch. And we'll walk up and nod, just kind of as a low.
Aniel, as at this point you see this gentleman walk by, screaming about food and taking orders, and he'll give a nod to you.
Yeah, I just return the nod and walk past them and into the room. Like, I'm not really interested in food at the moment. I'm more, my curiosity has been piqued by these bells, and then of course they're heading in the direction of Meryl. So like,
I like the idea that Lucky was about to say, yeah, excuse me, you're looking for some food, and you just continue walking by like nonchalantly, not even paying attention.
Exactly. Yes.
And he goes, okay.
I have an over-the-counter question.
Yeah.
Blue, do we know each other's names?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I think Meryl is obviously very intrigued by this game, but she kind of sees Anael out of the corner of her eye as they walk in the room, and she, without any manners, yells excitedly, Anael! Anael, come sit with me!
And yeah, without hesitation, because I was already going that direction, I just, I don't even pick up the pace. I just continue to walk in your direction until I'm like at the table. And when I pass Arya, there's a little bit of like a breeze that follows me, and it hits the bells in your hat. And like that was definitely like on purpose. And then like you can see that they close their eyes just a little bit and savor the sound, and then like circle around to Meryl. I didn't know you'd be here.
I just got here, and I'm gonna play this game. Maybe you can watch?
Sure. What is it?
I don't know.
The dealer's been holding his hand out now for a couple of minutes, waiting for Meryl to go ahead and hand the golds. Meryl being distracted, once, twice, 3 times now. You kind of hear the dealer, as politely as you can, clear his throat a little bit.
And I go to give him a low 5. And then I'm kidding. I know what you want. And then I give him 2 gold.
Okay. So he'll take the 2 gold pieces. For the sake of everyone's gold pieces, I will say 1 fortune coin is 2 gold pieces. So he'll nod and say, if you'd like to purchase more, this is your first time, we'll double your fortune coins for your first purchase. You sure you just want to buy 1?
Yes.
Suit yourself. And then he hands over 2 fortune coins instead of the usual 1. Yeah, continue. Sorry.
Okay, so now what?
We can get excuse me. And he looks over to the Quiet and Arya. You interested in playing?
Arya looks up at Quiet.
Sorry, what?
A Quiet hangs over the room. At that, the dealer has motioned to you two, asking if you two are interested in playing.
Oh yeah. Quiet will nod and step up as well next to
Take a seat.
this unknown person.
Take a seat. And you? Looking over at Aniel.
No.
Just immediately his face just goes just turns emotionless just at the shutdown and goes, well, suit yourself. You're free to watch if you want. Motioning over to a chair.
Arya's gonna take her 2'7" tiny ass and reach up for the chair and try to climb onto it, but she's so
Quiet,
small.
Quiet will give her uppies.
She
plop her
gives
on
you
the
like
chair.
the thumbs up.
All right. And then he'll he'll move his hand over in front of Quiet and Arya. That's 2 gold for a fortune coin to gamble here at this table, but if it's your first purchase, which I believe it is, I'll double out whatever fortune coins you purchase. One
And how
time only,
much-
though.
And how much are each of these coins?
2 gold.
All right, Quiet will plop 4 gold onto the table then.
All right.
Arya puts a bell on the table.
Yeah.
Quiet will sweep the bell back into Arya's hands. Like, stop.
At that point, you'll be handed 4 fortune coins.
I think while this like transaction is happening, Anael is looking around the rest of the room, and their eyes catch on what appears to be like a stage of some kind.
Yeah. At that point, Djarii, you're kind of getting ready to set up for what is probably going to be your first show of the cruise. Nala, so tell me a little bit about how Nala would entertain a crowd. What is like Nala's skill in entertainment?
So Nala, her usual entertainment would be, at least back at home, she would be playing the flute and dancing and singing. But since she's on the cruise and the patrons are a little bit more wealthy and higher class, she's playing the viol. She's not terribly adept at it, and she looks a little bit nervous. She's probably been dressed as well in some nice finery provided to her for the show. Probably a nice dress of sorts and some heels that she's walking in really small steps because she's terrified to fall over. And yeah, she will be set up with a vial.
Feel free to describe a little bit more. Do you have any more that you want to describe about yourself?
Yep.
To everyone that's like watching over in the audience.
Yep, she's relatively small-ish, probably around sort of like 5'2" or so. She has a head full of curly ginger hair, and when I say ginger, more orange, fiery kind of hair, with 2 little fluffy orange ears poking out of the top, akin to a fox. She is clad today in a very long, elegant red dress. That is rather revealing in the cleavage section, one might add.
Okay, so at that point in time, I would say that you're about to actually start and begin your initial show, as you've been tasked to do to entertain for a few hours a day to the patrons. So explain a little bit about your what your show would be, what your entertainment would be. Would you just like get on the stage, begin playing the viol, or would you just how would you kind of explain a little bit about your setup essentially?
So she would be sat, I guess, just in a chair with the instrument perched from the floor, and just kind of like nervously, since it's her first show in front of these people and with an instrument she's not super comfortable with, so she's just sort of sat there a little bit meekly, and just center stage. She's kind of just walked a little bit awkwardly up. She's given a few awkward little waves, and then tucked her hands away and assumed a seat on the center of the stage. And just she begins playing a tune that is neither happy nor sad, just fairly neutral at the moment.
Fairly neutral through. Okay. Feel free to, at this point, make a performance check.
Okay, now I need to figure out how to do that on D&D Beyond. Okay,
no
I think
worries.
I can figure it out.
That's my roll.
Here it is. Oh dear. Oh dear.
The viol seems to be a bit out of tune as you begin to start to initially serenade with your song. Everyone's faces kind of flinch a little bit.
She stops and she clears her throat a little bit awkwardly and chuckles. And she tries to tune the instrument awkwardly on stage while people are watching her, and then gives them a little gesture with her hand to say should be just a moment.
Yeah.
She fiddles around trying to fix it.
All right, Meryl. Well, in fact, everyone at Meryl's table at this point, you kind of hear this string instrument begin to play, and then a piercing sound just definitely pulls your attention away from the table for a moment to hear, where the heck that sound even came from.
Yeah, there's definitely a wince.
Yeah.
Meryl is instantly in shock because she sees something that she's only ever dreamed of seeing. And she instantly does not care about the table anymore, and she kind of stumbles off of her stool and trips her way over to sit in the audience in front of this fox girl.
Yeah, feel free you can move your token over there if you'd like. The dealer just handing you the 2 coins as you then immediately get up and then start to depart from the table. He just looks over. Hey! Are you gonna... and it just sees you've already left. You've already walked away at this point. What is everyone else doing?
As they leave, Quiet will look to the dealer and say, "My surprise is also quite I can't decide a voice for this fucker."
No, that's fine. It's fine. It's session 0. Decide whatever you want.
I too would be quite enamored. I've never seen a shaved tabaxi before.
The dealer looks at you like, raises an eyebrow, and it's just gonna pretend he didn't hear that just come out and goes, right, here's your 4 coins then.
He thinks that she's a shaved tabaxi.
Arya's just gonna look up at Quiet and give him the smile, face palm, and then she's gonna go point at the stage, and she's just gonna start wandering off to the stage.
Nala sees people coming over. She stands up from her chair and brushes off her dress and quickly shimmies away and grabs a flute from sort of behind the stage and runs back and takes a few deep breaths and then assumes playing the flute instead.
Okay. So at this point in time, before you do that, Anael, what are you doing when you see people departing from the table?
So I feel like I had looked over to the stage before the performance started and then looked back. But when I heard the frankly dreadful viol playing, I'm sorry.
It was a 2. It's okay.
I had like winced a little bit, but then Meryl turned back and was like entranced, and so did literally everyone else that was in the party. So Anael probably looks back at the dealer and raises an eyebrow and is just like, "Who is that?" And chin nods towards Nala to see if like the dealer has any information about who that is.
What is it? What do they do exactly?
Again, I will ask who is that on the stage to the dealer, if the dealer had any information or knew at all about Nala, or like.
At that point, the dealer would look over at Nala and goes, "Oh, well, that's the magnificent Nala, a kitsune of sorts. I know. I was also surprised when I saw her as well. She's a fabulous entertainer. She's just tuning up her instrument right now, kind of like brushing under the fact that piercing note. You're in for a real treat. We have the finest entertainment here over at Fortune. Over here in the Fortune. At Fortune's favor.
Does she also demand money to entertain?
No, she's part of.
And right as soon as he says no, Anael like stands up and walks over like, okay, well, you asked for money to give me like toys and do things, but this person's doing it for free, so I'm gonna go over there.
So, and as you walk away, he's silenced a little bit, and then just kind of looks over at Quiet and says, "You so you ready to play?"
Quiet'll just nod.
All right, so we actually have a little mini game for you, Quiet. Before we get to that, Nala, let's get another performance check and see how you're doing with your flute playing.
Please, RNG. Okay.
And yeah, there it is. A piercing note just kind of like screams out of the flute that gives everyone just a momentary headache as you're apparently trying to tune up this instrument as well. The patrons begin to look around nervously, wondering if this is the show.
Sorry.
It's not usually like this. It's my first time.
Meryl kind of hops out of her seat and is like, "It's okay. We're here to listen, so just try again."
Aria approaches the stage and she like makes like a give it to me motion with her hands for the flute.
Nala looks a little bit confused at the halfling, but smiles, and then awkwardly passes the flute to the half elf, wondering what she intends to do.
All right, she gives it a little, and she tunes it for you, and then she hands it back, and then she goes and she sits back down.
I think like while that interaction is happening, I'm seated behind Meryl.
Yes.
But I kind of just gently like poke her in the shoulder, and I'm like, "Is that your friend?" And point toward Nala.
I look at Anael and I look at Nala and I just kind of shrug and then I shush Anael a little bit.
Like bashedly, would you say?
Well, yeah, it's more like we know each other really well, and I think that her and I don't care for manners because we understand each other well enough. So I kind of just shush her. I'm trying to listen to Nala. I go,
Nala would attempt for the third time to play an instrument.
Go ahead and make two because of the tuning.
Yeah.
From an individual that's also trained in the arts.
Is there an advantage on D&D Beyond that I can roll with?
So I don't remember the shortcut off the top of my head. I'm actually gonna make a note of that right now so I can give you that shortcut later on. But you can just roll twice, and we'll just take the highest amount. But yes,
you right click.
Oh, you right
click,
click,
and then there's a little advantage. You can click advantage
well,
when you hover over your roll button.
There you go.
I'm gonna roll twice because I can't see it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll figure it out. No worries there.
Ooh.
Holy shit!
There you go.
The tuning worked.
You don't even have to roll that second one as with a critical hit.
Went from 2 to a nat 20.
Yeah. You just begin to play this beautiful melody over at the flute. Immediately winning back the crowd.
While she plays it, she also kind of like dances around the stage, like she's suddenly come to herself and she's back to feeling, a bit more confident and comfortable around everybody. And she dances around without even noticing that she's wearing heels, and that's the first time. And she looks very, very comfortable and confident now.
So Yeah, so you begin to dance around the stage, and as you've described, play this beautiful melody. The crowd itself begins to clap and cheer at your wonderful entertainment. How does everyone else respond? Oh, we can start with Aniel. Aniel, how do they respond?
I think that with the 2 previous attempts, Anael had kind of like written off Nala a little bit and was surprised when this beautiful music started to emanate from the stage. And so there's a bit of like a double take. And then they like sit back in their chair and kind of, you wouldn't have maybe noticed it before, but they are constantly moving, not like jittery movements, but kind of like flowing movements. And you only kind of notice it now when they like settle back in their chair and are suddenly very still and attentive to the stage.
Okay. All right. Meryl, how are you? What's your response to this?
Meryl is entranced. Just like, it's almost like there's a spell on her. Her mouth is hanging wide open, and she does this thing with like her posture when she's really like paying attention to something or really considering something, and so she's kind of like pushing her fingers into her like scalp and like kind of just really concentrated, just like really in her element, paying attention.
Okay. And Arya, what are you doing currently?
As she's performing, Arya is like almost scanning the crowd, looking for something, like something wrong she's looking for in the crowd. I don't think, though, seeing the demographic, she would see anything wrong, though. And she looks back to the stage with her ever-present, beautifully creepy smile, gives a knowing nod, and at the end of the performance gives a clap and a...
You just hear the bell echo off into the audience as other patrons and audience members begin to wander into the performance area to also hear what this lovely melody that's been kind of like beginning to echo throughout the ship. And Nala, after you finish your performance, you see that the audience seems to have grown quite a bit.
Really pleased and a little bit flushed, a little bit suddenly shy, but pleased that everyone is here. And she asks if anybody would like to hear any requests.
Yeah, a silence falls over the audience as they all, kind of shrug, don't really have too much of a request, unless the players, unless you guys have a request of your own that you'd like.
Does she know toss a coin to your witcher? I'm so sorry.
Who doesn't know that? Toss a coin to your witcher.
We play the copyright-free trademark music, toss a coin to your witcher. That will not get us end the show immediately. As you begin to ask a little bit of the question, the ship, for a moment, kind of shakes a little bit. Like just like a hard shake, as if you guys just hit some choppy waters.
I guess Meryl immediately turns around and looks at Anael, just kind of like wants to see if there's any concern on their face. Almost asking for reassurance, I guess.
Anael, do you give anything of the sort?
Reassurance about the like ship quaking?
Yeah, the ship kind of gives like a rough shake, as if you just hit choppy waters a little bit.
Like, is there... I don't know how much time Anael spent on ships to know, like, if it feels... Can I make some kind of check to know if it feels like ordinary, like, choppiness, or if it felt like something else? Or...
How about just a flat intelligence check? Would that be... does that sound good?
Sure, let's go. Did I do it? No. Do I just click that?
There we go. Oh, I
I
see.
got a 7.
That's why he chuckled. I
I
think
number 7 in the casino today.
Yeah,
We've had
I-
so many.
I think with that 7, you just would kind of assume that it's just the usual shakiness of a ship. No one's really fallen over. There isn't like stuff like beginning to tumble all over the place. I mean, there is audible concern
Right.
being heard at this point. But then
Do you mind if I make one as well? Because I feel like Meryl is very inquisitive and she would still be concerned.
yeah, please. Absolutely. One moment. So with an 18, I would say has Meryl been on ships before?
Yeah, she's an explorer and she's spent a lot of time in water and in nature. So,
So typically when it comes to like a shake like this, then it's kind of beginning to settle out a little bit. Normally what happens is either a rough patch of water has been hit or a weather pattern has changed around, within the ship. So you might be entering some choppy waters. You might be entering some rain. There might be a storm front coming through. But no concern as of yet because no one's really like said anything.
okay, she'll take like a mental note of it, but for now she's not going to do anything about it.
Okay. That's totally fine. And then at that point, everything just kind of resumes as normal. You kind of begin to hear a little bit of rain start, just very barely, starting to hit the surface of the ship as it begins to like echo out all across the ship at this point.
Sorry, what's echoing? Rain?
Just like raindrops, and you kind of hear a little bit of just lightly some thunder on the outside.
I love thunder.
But the ship is still just in motion. It was that first initial shake, and then it kind of like begins to settle out at that point in time.
Is Nala still performing?
Nala, I know, just wrapped up her performance, and she was. I think the last thing was she was about to request a song. If anyone knows a song. Before that, I want to get back to Quiet over at the table.
That's me.
So Quiet, the ship shakes a little bit as you begin to enter uneasy waters. And then it settles down. Everyone kind of looks around a little bit, and the dealers.
So like as the ship shakes, Quiet's arms on the table, he'll immediately just dig his claws into the wood. But like keep a very stoic, straight face as to not look like he's freaking out or anything.
First time on a boat, lad?
He just shakes his head.
Okay, that's
like a no.
all right.
But like
you're fine. You're doing fine. At this point, he will just be like, oh, so you ready to play? You got 4 coins there.
Yeah.
All right. Take the Offensive is a very simple game. Simply put, we're going to be rolling some dice, and you're going to try and beat me at those rules. You can continue to bet throughout as much as you want if you want to try and earn more and double your earnings. Why don't you go ahead and bet 1 coin at first so you can get used to the game? Then he holds his hand out.
Yeah, Quiet will place 1 coin in his hand.
All right. So this is how this game works. He then hands you a 10-sided die. It's a very simple game. You roll a 10-sided die, and your objective is to beat the dealer.
I'm fucked.
Yeah. So, you roll the beginning of the game is you roll the 10-sided die, and then decide if you want to continue playing with the roll that you get before you see the dealer's roll. If you decide to continue playing, you have to bet another coin. If you decide to quit, you lose the coin that you initially bet, and you forfeit out of the game. So, with the bet already placed, he motions at you to roll your die. So simply /roll 1d10.
Okay. You just do this, right?
Yep.
Oh no.
You rolled a 1. Would you like to
Great.
continue playing? If you match the dealer, you essentially regain your money. But if you quit now, you lose the coin that you bet.
He will frustratedly scratch his head and put down another coin.
Okay. He nods and goes, all right. Seems we want to see if you're feeling a bit fortunate. The dealer rolls his die, gets a 9, and says, too bad, lad, and then takes your other coin, and you've lost 2 fortune points at this point.
And he looks at the dealer and says, "This is how you get them, huh?"
Would you like to play again?
He puts down another coin.
All right, we're about to literally see.
Arya senses the loss of all of their money and shakes her head from a distance.
Arya, you kind of look back as you see Quiet just. He looks frustrated as he's putting coins down, and the dealer just shakes his head. Tough luck, mate. Tough luck. All right, you place another coin. Go ahead and roll your 10-sided die.
Why?
Felt like
Would you like to keep playing?
So explain this part to me again.
So if you decide to keep playing, you have to put in another coin. If you decide not to keep playing, you forfeit the coin that you bet.
Okay, but he still has to roll it though, right?
Correct. But you're deciding if you want to if you want him to
It's
continue.
kind of like doubling down or not.
Yeah, it's a forced double down essentially.
He will say no.
Okay, and then he'll take the coin. He says, "Tough luck, mate. Tough luck. Would you like to play again?" Looks over at you.
I really hope the dealer actually
just
laughed at him
quietly-
too.
Yeah, walk it off. You kind of see at this point a dejected Quiet walk back into the audience. Arya.
Pretty much his face is literally his token right now.
Nala, you see what appears to be a very hairy kitsune walk into the audience.
Nala, like, her eyes widen, she squints for a second as she's trying to figure out what she's looking at. She would realize eventually that she's not looking at a kitsune.
Yeah.
And then shake her head and stop staring awkwardly. She would notice, since she has such a huge audience, she would just continue to play something absently in the background for them.
Sure. What instrument would you like to play?
She would continue playing the flute.
Okay. Go ahead and make a performance check.
Oh my god.
Get those bad dice roll out of the way.
Already 2 of them. 14. 19 actually, I guess. Was a plus
You
5.
still
I'll
play
take that one.
an excellent tune. And then after you finish, people begin to clap. And you start to receive some tips, some tip money. At that point in
Wait,
time,
I thought that the dealer said that this one didn't need to be paid.
it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't need to be paid, but people are still gonna
Are
suggest.
they giving it to her?
Yeah,
Cute.
How?
absolutely.
Sorry.
They're just tossing coins at you. You receive 10 gold pieces and 4 fortune coins as people come up and just kind of like begin to tip.
Nala
pay over you.
scoops them up and smiles really gratefully. Thank you. Thank you. She says to everybody as they tip her.
Can anyone do that?
What? Just walk up and give money?
No, play. I have a flute too.
You'd have
I'm
to.
like, I think I'm just talking to Meryl probably because of it's like right in front of me, and I'm just basically just like, wait a second. Can I have a flute? I can play flute. Can anyone do that?
As you're just like talking.
Are you any good at flute?
I don't know.
Well, you can always try, I guess.
Aniel, what are you doing?
I think that Anael is just like, I've never been on a cruise ship before.
Right.
They're very young, and and they're probably just like, well, all of these things require money, and I would like some money as well. So Anael probably like also goes up to the stage, and it's just like, may I have a turn?
So
Also, I think Meryl
Nala
knows that
blinks
this is wrong, but she
very awkwardly.
isn't stopping her.
Um,
Sorry.
I think you gotta speak to my manager first.
Who is that?
Who is
Meryl's giggling.
DM?
He simply calls himself Mr. Larry.
That's Mr. Larry. I think he'll be in his office right now.
Mr. Larry doesn't like to be disturbed. He also doesn't like people knowing what he is, because as you know, he is actually a goblin. But he doesn't like the idea of people knowing that he's a goblin, because he's afraid that'll
I
get
could
everyone.
ask Mr. Larry if you want. He doesn't usually like to be disturbed.
Meryl kind of goes up to the stage and she kind of reaches out her hand to Anael and she goes, Anael, I think it's raining upstairs on the deck. Maybe we could go up there?
And immediately distracted, it's just like, yes, I heard the thunder. We should go.
And before she leaves, she says to Nala, I don't know who you are, but I'm really glad that I saw you perform today. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. I'm Nala.
Hi. And then Meryl kind of forgets her name.
Meryl.
I'm Meryl. I'm Meryl. It's nice to
Wait, was
meet
that
you.
Anael saying Meryl for her?
Anael say, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh.
Anael sees Meryl like forget her own name, and it's just like Meryl. She's Meryl.
Nice to meet you, Meryl. And you?
And she nods to Anael.
Anael. And then turns to like drag Meryl up to the like top of the ship to watch the thunder.
Okay, and as I'm being dragged away, I'm still looking at Nala and I go, you have a good day. I liked your music. Goodbye.
Does the little gremlin walk up to the stage? What was
She walked up and she saw people putting money and she doesn't have any money, so she just started putting like a tiny little bells. And she walked back and took a seat.
You just hear the slight jingle of bells as it's just put up on the
Gee.
stage.
You give Nalus a bell?
E.
But a yes?
She just put like 3 little tiny bells on the stage.
Nala picks them up and inspects them. She smiles. She's not quite sure. And she gives them a little ring. And then tucks them away.
Just see this
down her front.
creepy little smile staring back at you.
Just to confirm, that was 10 gold pieces and
4
4 pleasure token.
yeah,
tokens?
4 fortune
coins. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's fine. Both words completely incorrect, but yeah, that's totally cool.
Pleasure tokens and fortune coins. It's a synonym.
Yeah. That's all good. Yeah, go on.
Would Nala know that her shift is over and that she's allowed to?
Yeah, absolutely.
play?
I would say at this point in time, her set performance on the stage has been wrapped up and is done.
Okay, she would probably skip over or at least kind of whimsically dance her way over to the game table and put down one of her coins.
Just immediately just walks by.
Yeah, she wants to play.
I love it. Quiet. What are you doing as you see Arya just putting some bells down?
Just kind of watch and I'm just gonna go with the assumption this isn't the first time she's handed someone a bell like that.
Okay, that's fair. Arya, do you hand bells to people usually? Would you say?
To bards that she likes. If she wants to troll Quiet, she'll also give bards to bells to random people in hopes that they ring them to annoy Quiet.
Quiet, how do you feel about this?
Annoyed.
All right, so heading back over to the table really quickly. Yeah, you've gotten 4 coins. And the you just see the dealer just go, Miss Nala, you interested in playing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would like to play.
All right. You know the drill. And then he'll offer a hand to wait for you to give a coin.
Quiet will kind of watch from over. He'll like lean back on this table and just kind of. Is this a rug or a table?
A
It's
rug.
a rug. Yeah.
He'll think it's a table and then fall on his ass. No, he'll kind of stand back here and watch. Just
He's
to
a
kind
cat. He needs to sit like directly in the middle of the rug.
Yeah, he curls up and just sits there.
Oh,
With his,
my heart. Nala enthusiastically offers one of the coins that she received from the patrons who watched her.
To Quiet.
No, to the dealer.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like giving.
Randomly, here, take my coin.
You're like, no. All right. So if you would like, the objective, of course, is to roll a d10 and see if you can beat the dealer. You roll a d10 and then determine if you want to keep playing, mostly. So, so you get the first coin. And now roll a d10.
Lucky.
You rolled a 5. Would you like to keep playing?
She pauses for a moment.
If you do, you must pay another coin.
Okay.
And then she offers another coin.
Very good. And he then rolls a die. And it's another 10. Ugh, too bad.
My gosh.
Tough luck.
You always win.
And then she offers her other coin.
Quiet, you see a second 10 being rolled on the table. Yeah, what's Quiet thinking about this?
he just kind of yells over. He cheats.
That is a harsh accusation
Ears.
to be made.
Her ears like flick up like.
Then stop rolling 10s.
I won't roll a 10 this time. How about that?
Yeah, we'll see.
She's like,
You don't cheat, do you?
No, of course not. And holds his hand out.
she nods.
Okay, let's go again.
Feel free to roll a d10. He furrows like his brow a little bit. Would you like to keep playing? And if you do, offer up a coin, and then he'll roll.
She offers it up.
All right. If this is a 10 again, he rolls a 6, meaning he busts, and you win 4 fortune coins. At that point.
Great.
Quiet will see them win and immediately walk up like, how did you win?
I just got lucky. You want to go?
She like taps the seat next to her for him to join her.
Quiet looks at his single fortune coin and shakes his head.
She offers one of her fortune coins to him so he can play.
Oh, how generous.
Quiet will respectfully decline. He'll put his hand up and say, I do not wish to owe you.
Oh, don't owe me. It will be fun.
All right.
It's nice to have someone to play with.
Well,
He'll sit down.
Well, before you take these coins, he's holding the 4. Would you like to double or nothing?
Double or nothing?
Yeah. We roll with the round 2 dice, and he pulls out 2 8-sided dice. You don't have to make a second bet. We just immediately roll off. You could win 8 coins.
Doesn't she have 5 coins right now? Because she had one. No.
Well, if right now she has 20 gold pieces and 0 fortune coins, unless she takes these 4, or she could continue, risk it all, but potentially get double the coins.
Right. I'm feeling lucky. Let's go. Double or nothing.
Yeah, that's right. And it's you at that point, an 8-sided die. So there's no, it's just a roll off at this point.
Whoever rolls higher.
Yep.
Okay.
So roll a 1d8.
Okay. Nala holds the dice and she gives it a little blow in her hands, and then lets it go.
Ooh.
Whew.
And
All right.
he'll roll. And with a 2, you've now won 8 fortune coins. At this point, his brow furrows a little bit, and he goes, "Would you like to play the final round? Double or nothing, get 16 coins for your trouble?" Pulling out the round 3 dice. This time, they're just 2 6-sided dice.
She looks at the tabaxi and says,
Should I do it?
Quiet Will is basically just staring at the dice with like bated breath, wide eyes, like if it were him, like he would have done it. Like he looks excited as hell. Pupils
great, let's do it.
dilated.
Now there you go. And he hands you a 6-sided dice. May fortune smile upon you.
she offers it to Quiet to blow on her hand like she previously did.
He doesn't quite understand, so he just like fist bumps her.
She giggles and then blows on her the die and then rolls the d6.
Quiet leaps out of the chair and goes, "Yes!"
And with that, he goes, "We got a winner," and hands you 16 fortune coins.
All right, pack it in. That's the best thing that's gonna happen to us this whole campaign.
Nala scoops
It's
up all the
all over.
coins and she clutches them to her chest and jumps out of her chair and twirls around, really, really excited and smiley.
Yeah, at that point, you win 16 fortune coins. You are able to try different games if you'd like, or you can redeem them. Each coin is worth 2 gold apiece.
32 gold. Not too bad. Not too shabby.
Before we go above deck to see what Meryl and Aniel is doing, Arya, what are you doing?
After the performance was done and she walked away, Arya kind of like approached the stage, like she got excited seeing a stage, and then she like goes to open her mouth, pauses, closes it, looks at the stage for a second, then just kind of walks away to blend in with the crowd.
Oh no. You see Quiet getting very excited at a gambling table where Nala appears to be winning a lot of coinage.
She'll go and she'll just like pull on his coat.
And he will look down to Arya, smile at her.
Guess that she's just hanging out.
Okay. All right. Let me real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and bring you, Aniel and Meryl. I'm gonna bring you guys above deck.
Awesome.
There's
Wonderful.
I don't think there's any lighting effects here. Let me check real quick. But essentially everyone can at this point see what you guys are doing. It's a very simple plain over deck. But you kind of begin to feel, I'm going to go ahead and take you guys all the way over there. You kind of feel the rain start to hit across your face as the waves begin to rock a little bit. And yeah, the sky appears to be darkening a little bit as you guys are approaching a storm.
Oh, this is lovely. And Anael dips their head back and is just like appreciating the feel of the rain on their face. Is that, I'm sure that you didn't know that person.
I've never seen them before in real life. I mean, sometimes I see things in my dreams, but I've never met them before, no.
Wow.
Are you, do you believe me? Are you mad at me?
No.
Okay.
No. You'd know if I was angry.
Yeah, that's true. I always know. Anyway, should we be worried about this storm or?
and I listen to the sound of the thunder, and like I got a really bad roll before, so I feel like I'm just like, feels great to me.
Well, now that you're above deck, you're more than welcome to make another roll.
Would it still be straight intelligence or like perception or?
I would say intelligence or survival.
Survival. It's better for me. I'll do survival.
Okay.
I get an 11.
So with an 11, you can tell that the storm that I would say at this point the storm is beginning to just swell up. This is even though that it's raining, you hear the thunder crashing, you see the lightning kind of like striking off in the distance. At this point, I think it's fair to say for your conclusion that even though this is happening, this is already might be a little intimidating for some. It has just begun, and it's about to get worse.
Well, it appears we're in for a quite unpleasant first day of our journey.
Should we warn someone? Like, I don't know, whoever is steering the ship. I mean,
They have eyes.
I know that this is a big ship, and bad winds could, tip it over.
They have eyes. I'm sure they can see.
All right, NIL. Okay. And I guess my character, I forgot my own character's name. Meryl. I think Meryl would go back underneath and try to talk to somebody who she could warn about the storm.
Okay.
I'm just trailing behind and just kind of being like, if we can see the storm, then certainly they can. They run this whole ship. They can't be that inept, right? And I'm just like following you and just yammering.
I'm just letting her talk.
Okay. So what I kind of want to do is fast forward a couple of days over on this voyage. You probably would have warned someone about the storm, Meryl.
Okay.
Like one of the tasks, they would mention that this ship is a finely crafted vessel by the finest engineers all over Io, and that they can handle a little water, and not to worry yourself, to continue to rest and enjoy yourself over this lovely pleasure ship. Big gamble a little bit. They probably would have at that point to kind of like calm you down, hand you over a couple of fortune coins, and allow you to feast freely over at the buffet.
See, Meryl, it'll be fine. You should go flirt with that. I mean, talk to that fox woman again.
You know that I don't. That makes me uncomfortable. I just feel weird about it, Like, shouldn't they be more worried about the people in their ship? I don't know. I guess we'll deal with it when it comes. And I guess I head to wherever the food is, because being frustrated makes me hungry.
You would have eaten during the past couple of days like fantastic raw fish, lobsters, crabs, plenty of chicken, poultry, steak. I mean, you would have had just quite a bit of a feast. After a couple of days, I would say that the storm really hasn't let up, but the ship itself has had a couple of bumps and bruises, a couple of bumpy times. Any time that you would have asked about it, a staff member would simply be like, the ship's fine. Everything's going to be fine. There literally is nothing to worry about. This is a massive vessel that can go ahead and combat against some of the finest naval ships of the kingdom of Gwendolyn, which is over at Kathos. It's perfectly fine. This could double up, honestly, as a naval ship if it needed to be. So with that being said, after a couple of days of voyage, what would you say all of your characters are doing? And I'll start from the bottom up at the Discord call. Tate, what would Quiet have been doing during these past couple of days?
Just kind of enjoying the relaxation, just like, watching performances, eating food, and just kind of a lot of lounging in his room and just relaxing mostly.
would you be sharing you're sharing a room with Arya, correct?
I'll leave that up to Summer.
Yee.
Okay.
The rooms themselves are like bunk bed rooms. They're very tight rooms, essentially. And
Okay.
It's a good thing I'm extremely small.
Yep. And Quiet takes top bunk because he likes to be tall.
It's and since you got one of the last rooms, you're in a very, very tiny, tight room space where you actually have storage over here, along with your bunk beds over there that you guys can you be able to sleep in the bottom bunk and the top bunk. Going up the list a little bit more, Coolie, what would Meryl be doing?
Meryl is
for the couple of days.
Meryl's very determined. I think she has hyper focus a little bit, maybe a little bit of ADHD, and she has sensed that there might be danger, and she knows that she was brought on this ship by her spirit guide. So her whole brain process right now is focusing on making sure everybody on this ship stays safe. So she's kind of just not getting a whole lot of sleep and kind of just like walking around the ship and making sure everything's okay. Yeah, stuff like that.
That's fair. I would say you probably talking to several crew members about, your concern over the ship, over the fact that the storm hasn't really, it literally haven't had a single, it's been just, you've been sailing through choppy, stormy waters. And even though the ship has kept itself and remained itself as balanced as it is, you have sensed a little, it's become a little, I from what you're describing, it sounds like it's become just a little bit alarming for you, essentially. But every time you talk to someone new, they would just reassure you the ship's gonna be fine. There's nothing to worry about. And and the response is always, here's a coin. So at this point, I would dare say you probably accrued about 8 fortune coins talking to different individuals who have just been like, relax, go over, enjoy the entertainment. We have this amazing Kitsune entertainer. Here's a coin. Why don't you go ahead and gamble over at the the casino area of the ship? Just enjoy yourself. It's a pleasure cruise. Everything's gonna be fine.
And Meryl does one of those frustrated blows a wispy hair out of her face, huff and puff, and then kind of just moves on because she knows that she can't really trust anyone who just wants her to spend money.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Djarii, how your days are spent fulfilling your entertainment contract with Mr. Larry, correct?
Yes, indeed.
Just real quick, can I get 3 performance checks from you? Just want to see what your demeanor on the ship has been.
Yeah.
All right. And then just 2 more. Ooh.
Ooh-wee, let's go.
Yeah.
And 1 more, please. So you have been the talk of the ship, the mythical Kitsune who can just entertain anyone with her beautiful song, dance, and instrument. I'm going to say that out of the tips you have earned, I'm just going to do this, 18 gold pieces. And 15 fortune coins will be what you've been given through your 3 days of tips, along with your typical salary, which is free travel, and one of the finer rooms of the.
Oh my God! Do they have
ship.
her working for exposure? Hello.
it's
working for
It's a very.
We'll give you a room.
Yeah. They gave her a room
basically
in travel. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's in total 28 gold and 16 plus 15 fortune coins.
31 fortune coins, which if you want to redeem for gold, you're free to do so anytime over the past couple of days. Do you keep the coins?
She would have. She probably would keep maybe 4 coins and then turn the rest into gold.
Okay. Yeah. Feel free to go about and do so. And you can turn that into gold now if that's what you do over the next couple of days.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. And then finally, Amiel, what are you doing? What have you been doing over the past couple of days? Have you just been blissful and enjoyed the storm?
Yeah, at first I was when the first day I followed Meryl around as she was being concerned and anxious. But after, several days of after a few hours, I spaced out and was like, I think because Meryl wasn't sleeping much, I probably slept in her quarters.
Okay.
Because it was unoccupied,
Mhm.
And then
Meryl, do you allow that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I expect that her and I have probably shared a bed before, and it's just like, just like family members or whatever.
Yeah. And I also have spent time trying to convince Nala to let me do a flute duet with her.
Okay. Nala, would you have allowed that? Would she have persuaded
Nala
you
would be
eventually?
probably a bit afraid to upset Mr. Larry. Since and as well maybe like a little bit hesitant because Nala knows that she's been given board on the basis that she is working, and if somebody's willing to do that for free, then that could compromise her position of having board. So she's like in two minds. She's like a little bit afraid that she'll lose her position if Mr. Larry finds out that she allows somebody to perform for free. Then why would they need her?
Right. I mean, you don't know how good or bad I am yet. So.
True, but she doesn't know that, and she's she
That's
thinks
no,
that if you're good,
totally.
then it could be bad for her. But she says,
I'll ask Mr. Larry today and maybe tomorrow.
And I feel like there's probably several times where, like, just, whenever I pass by, where Anael had, like, inquired. And a few of the times it was just, like, a shrug. But one of the times, Anael got, like, super mad after you said that and just, like, stormed off and kicked a chair. Like, one of the times. And
The chair literally goes flying off into the corner. It startles a lot of the passengers.
And I just want that to, like, be a thing. Otherwise, there's probably been some, like, sword practice up on deck as well.
In the middle of the storm. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh, yeah. It's great. I don't think that they've partaken of any gambling.
Okay. Sounds good.
None of us want to gamble.
Nala would be but every time she sees you now, she'll probably like shift her eyes away and try and avoid you.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. I'm so angry.
No, that's fine. It's fine. That's wonderful. I love it. All right. So after a few days, I'm going to say that Anael, we're gonna move you up to the top deck real quick on your own. Practicing swords, I'm assuming.
It's
sorry?
great.
I'm sorry, what'd you say? Sorry, I cut
my
out.
great sword. It's great.
So you're just like slashing your sword around,
Oh yeah,
practicing
it's
all
very
around.
large. So like, if anyone came up on deck, I probably am practicing like close to the stairs, and if anyone like poked their head up, there's just a massive sword, and then they probably went back down.
I think after a few days, people would avoid the deck not only because of the storm, but also because of the air gymnasty that's just slashing a giant sword out in the middle of on top of the deck. No one's really gonna talk more about that. Is I think the best way to describe that. All right, let me just real quick. I'm just gonna turn that off. It's gonna get a little loud. As you're now above deck, the storm itself has gotten pretty strong, and like I said, has not let out over these past few days now. The rain is pounding up off against the deck. Lightning and thunder crashes around you. But because of your nature and demeanor, it really hasn't slowed you down from practicing.
If anything, it's a challenge.
Yes, absolutely. As you continue to slash your sword around. during this day, the ship itself has become a little more rockier than normal. The point where halfway through the day they had to shut down the casino, and they have the sort of like the food area. They'll serve the food over to your room, but they've requested people just kind of like stay in their room for now, and that they'll eventually get through this. It's a temporary thing, but they're going to be arriving at their destination. Nothing to worry about, nothing to see here, and yeah, Anael, at that point, you're slashing your sword, you're practicing. The gusts of wind are pushing you back, providing you with a bit of resistance. But
it's almost like they're helping me train. I'm into it.
The nature and the wind seems to be giving you quite the training regimen. I would say at this point, you kind of like are over here in this part of the deck. You're moving around the sword, or you're moving around the ship. It's fair to say as you're continuing to move around, slashing, parrying.
Doing other things with swords.
Yeah. And Swording. And at that point, you see something off in the, well, actually.
Do I?
Make a perception check.
I was going to say, don't just give it to me for free.
I
did a 3.
Well, one moment. What is your passive perception? That's a good question.
My passive perception is 12.
Okay. I would say with a 12, you would be able to see this.
Okay. So while I'm practicing, I notice.
You notice something off in the distance. It appears to be almost like another ship approaching past the clouds through the rain and water and the storms and the like. And it appears to be approaching.
There's a moment where Anael just like sees this, looks over, and then like continues, and then as it like starts to grow larger on the horizon, I think that they put sheath their sword and go to the railing and like try and peer a little closer, and just like check it out.
I would say at that point, you begin to identify something extremely peculiar and unusual about this ship, as you believe it's going over one of the waves. It seems to be a small, old, derelict ship that is sailing. It doesn't appear to be bouncing with the waves and flowing with the water as ships normally do, especially a ship of this magnitude and size that you're on, that is literally ducking and diving and bobbing over the ocean's essentially dancing movements all across. It's at that point you begin to see and realize that the ship isn't moving with the water and the ocean, because it's not on the water and ocean at all. The ship isn't sailing. The ship is flying.
Well, that's interesting.
At that point, you can see at the end, almost alarming you, this massive, destroyed, derelict ship sailing over the waters, heading straight towards your ship, as a ghastly figure appears to be at the wheel.
I think that Anael, once it probably takes them a moment because I don't think they were anticipating anything. But once they see that there's something peculiar about the ship and that it seems to be like coming straight for them, I think that they would try and like, scurry around to the stairs and just call down.
Okay, yeah, feel free to do so.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
and then let me know what
stairs and like poke my head down into the like belly of the ship and see like, is there anyone close that I recognize that I could yell to, or like a staff member or one of the people I've been wandering around running into?
Well, so since you've been sort of practicing, you've been practicing, I would say, for about a couple of hours now. And what kind of unsettles you a little bit is as you look down, no one appears to be over in the halls. I'll actually take you over to that level right now.
No one?
it appears to be completely desolate and empty. And that's because you haven't received the news or alert that everyone needs to remain inside as the waters continue to be choppy.
No, I don't pay attention to any of those things when people tell me.
So
what to
it
do.
almost feels like you're in an empty ghost ship right now.
Yeah, so I go like toward the edge of the hallway and I look either direction and just kind of like poke my head into the gambling room. And I'm just like, where is everyone?
Yeah, you just.
And at a certain point, like I get fed up and I just yell as loud as I can, Meryl!
Meryl, you hear from your room the sound of Anael shouting from the top of their lungs over in this direction. And I'll take you over to your token now. You're free to move around if you'd like, Meryl.
Yeah, I think Meryl immediately is trying to follow the voice, mainly because she wants to get her friend to stop yelling and embarrassing her.
Yeah.
So
I'm quite embarrassing, it's true.
What are you yelling about? We're all supposed to be in our rooms.
It appears that your constant anxiety and fretting was partially warranted. There's a flying ship of some sort coming.
How many times have I told you that you need to listen to my gut? When I have a gut feeling, you have to listen to me.
Yes, well, it's working as often as it's right, okay?
All right.
Quiet and Arya, as well as Nala, you kind of begin to hear that like this
Definitely heard me
argument, this pitched argument happening outside of your rooms from familiar voices of associates that you've began to know along your cruise line.
Arya's upset because she has to stop writing her murder mystery novel that she was writing that took place on the boat.
Quiet, what are you doing?
He's peeking out of the room to kind of look around and see what all the yelling is about.
You! And I point at Quiet. I guess, like,
you
I
hear
don't know
this.
how, like,
You hear the sound
how-
over here as you continue to walk around. Quiet.
Quiet will peek around the corner and
You there, you have weapons. I've seen them. You should help.
he'll kind of pull his cloak over his sides. What?
Now is not the time. There's some sort of flying ship out. I can't find anyone else.
What are we doing? Are we trying to warn people or do we need to go fight?
I don't know what the flying ship wants. It's just unusual, and you've been on edge for days now.
Right. Okay, I think Meryl at this point is taking initiative and she's just gonna head to above the deck so she can see what's going on.
Okay. Nala, what are you doing as you hear this commotion from outside when everyone's supposed to be within their rooms?
Nala would leave her room and run to see what all of the commotion was about.
Okay. I'll take you over to where everybody is currently.
What's happening? What's all of the yelling?
Apparently, oh my god, Anna, how do I say your name?
Anael.
Anael. Apparently, Anael saw something above deck, and I think we need to warn the right people. You know the guy who's, captaining this ship, right? Well, maybe you could warn some people. I think the ship's in danger.
Okay, what did you see?
And she looks awkwardly at Anael, so she thinks that Anael hates her.
What did you see?
The flying ship. And I look like when they were talking to Meryl, they were very, yeah. When they were talking to Meryl, they were very like excited. But now that they're saying it to other people, they're just like, maybe I was wrong. Like maybe there wasn't a flying ship.
Maybe I just saw things.
Nala would go to see to the nearest window to look out to see if she could see.
Yeah, so you kind of look at one of the portholes over here at the top. And sure enough, you see now closer this hovering, like destroyed ship with a ghastly captain at its wheel.
Oh my god.
Golly, there's a flying ship.
She's like saying something unintelligible as she runs to alert people. She'll run to the captain's deck and see what's going on.
Okay. Do you guys? So you're running above deck?
Yeah.
And also Arya and Quiet, you guys running above deck as well?
Yeah, Quiet looks around wondering, is there any security on this ship? Like, where would a guard be?
As you're kind of like looking around, you don't see any like guard or security. You're uncertain if they're tending to something else or if they're just locked up, like the remainder, like the rest of the ship goers as well. As you begin to look around to see if there's any sort of assistance or any way to stop, the ship just does a big jostling shake, and I need everyone to roll athletics or acrobatics to maintain your balance or be fallen prone.
I roll a... Did it roll?
Yeah, I see
Roll
it.
an 8.
An 8, 18,
18.
18, 7. All right, Anael and Arya, you fall flat on your face.
Wait, can I make a sleight of hand check to grab Arya's hand to hold her up?
You can. Before
Aw.
Arya falls, you grab hold of her hand, and she does not fall prone. Anael,
She gives you the good old.
and
Oh.
and Anael, you do fall though, and you are now prone. As the ship itself just begins to like the wave hits the side and the ship begins to tilt over in its corner, and you could literally see like the walls and the ground begin to shake before it then evens itself out again.
Meryl tries to help Anael get up quickly and is trying to shoo everyone up top above deck.
I think that when Anael falls, like their skin is like a grayish blue kind of color, but they change color as though blushing a bit when they fall on their ass in front of everybody, and then they would probably like hesitate, but then accept Meryl's offer of help to get up and just be like, oh, I'm fine.
Grumble, grumble.
Grumble.
So the rest of you, or all of you, once you help, would arrive on the top. 1 second. Let me just get everyone there. Okay. And yeah, the storm itself at this point has really just picked up as you just see the rains and the waters pouring down. The ship is very close right now to this floating ship. What do you all do?
Brace for impact.
Arya's seen this dance before. She casts mage armor.
As you see an illustrious armor of force begin to surround over Arya.
Are we fighting?
I guess I just
Would you like to roll initiative?
yeah.
I mean, I feel like if it's gonna crash into us, that's a fairly like aggressive move. I think that's a fighting yes.
All right, everyone roll initiative.
I get a 3.
I apologize. Before you do that, can you be sure to select your tokens?
Oh.
Can I roll again?
And roll again. Yeah, you can roll again. When you
I had
select...
such a good roll.
I'm
That's
sorry.
better.
That was my fault. I'm sorry.
I like this one better anyway.
My
I'm sorry, I
gosh.
don't know how to do this.
Now I rolled poo-poo.
Click on your Meryl face token, and then go to the D&D Beyond and click on the thing that says Initiative.
Can I do it?
Yeah, you did.
Also make sure you have your tokens selected.
Yeah,
in
you have
roll
to
20.
click on your
That's what
little
I'm-
button on the board.
On your little token face person.
Yeah, you have to make
Yeah,
sure
when
it's selected, and then you roll initiative.
Right. I have it clicked.
And then, okay, just roll one more time. Sometimes it doesn't register, and if it doesn't, I'll just add you in manually. There you go. All right, you're
There
good.
we go. Of course.
That's
I
all-
had 2 really good rolls and then I got a bad one.
Yeah, I rolled 19 first, and then I rolled 7. So.
No worries, it happens sometimes. Okay, so Anael, with a 20 initiative, what are you doing?
So has the ship, like, is it in range of us now? Or
No, it is not, but
Okay.
it is approaching very closely. I will say it will have arrived in the next round.
I'm going to, like, kind of like barge through the rest of these people on deck and go to stand in front and draw my sword.
Okay. Does that conclude your round?
Can I ready an action?
You can.
I would like to ready an action to make an attack against anyone who tries to come at me, bro.
So if anyone gets within range of your attack,
anyone
hostile. If anyone hostile gets in range of your attack.
Yes, thank you, because Meryl's right here, and I don't want to hit.
No, I know.
If anyone hostile comes in range of my attack, I would like to make a melee attack against them. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that ends your round. Next up is Arya with her surprise round. Activated mage armor. What would you like to do for this round? You get a full rounds of actions.
She like sighs a bit and she like moves around a little bit. She'll stand next to Quiet and give him a good old pat on the back. And then she's also gonna prepare an action to firebolt anybody hostile that comes within her range.
Okay, sounds good. Next up is Meryl.
Okay, so Meryl's going to get out her scimitar.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of just wants to get kind of more inward. And she's going to prepare an action to kind of brace for the ship to hit our ship.
Okay.
And then she's going to decide what she'll do next on her next turn, I think.
Okay.
Scimitar drawn.
All right, Nala, what do you do?
How close is the ship?
It is going to arrive. It will have made contact with this ship next round.
Okay. Then I think Nala will use a bardic inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
On probably everyone's readied up, right? Except Quiet. Right?
Yeah, Quiet hasn't gone yet, and Meryl's gonna wait till next round to see what's going on.
Okay, then she will give a bardic inspiration to Anael.
Okay.
Oh, so you've gotten over the fact that you're scared of me.
Well, yeah, she seems she thinks that you are the most ready to take on whatever bad guy there is. So
Totally, I very much am.
You can do it.
How do you inspire Anael? With a song? With a musical instrument?
With some encouraging words.
Okay. Anael, you feel a burst of encouragement. You're uncertain it's from a supernatural force, or if Nala has just become very inspiring.
Okay.
I'll give up to that.
Quiet, you're next.
Could you kind of explain the terrain we're on right now, like on the top of the ship? Is it just flat land, or is this like an actual wall right here?
So you're on a flat board of ship. And what you're looking at is a wall, essentially, that leads into like the second area, which is more like the engineering area and where everything's being sailed. As you're looking through the portholes, you can see sailors trying to keep the ship afloat, essentially. They seem to be in a bit of a panic.
Okay. Well, what I wanted to do was I would like to stealth.
Okay.
So let me roll that. Damn, man. And I would like to kind of climb up the wall a bit and kind of get a high ground.
Okay. Feel free to roll a climb check.
Do I have to for Tabaxi? Because I think they just get like free climbing.
Is Tabaxi just literally, is their stats
They
literally?
have a climbing speed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if you have a climbing speed, you don't have to make any check. Yeah. Feel free to just go up there.
Yep. I just wanted to climb and kind of like be a little hidden, like above, and just get ready to.
Yeah, you're kind of like on the roof section of that ship right now, just bracing yourself.
Down, ready to strike.
Okay, let me see if I can illustrate this correctly. At this point, you see this giant ship begin to crash into the side of your ship.
Oh.
as it just kind of goes in, and it almost like a bullet just like hits the side of your ship, and it begins to tilt and fall over. Anael,
Yeah.
it is now your turn. I will need an athletics or acrobatics check to keep balance as your ship that you're on right now is beginning to tilt at a very sharp degree.
Oh, that's not good. Okay, I will make an athletics check. I get a 20.
You're good. You managed to keep balance as you sort of.
Oh my god.
He's not that big. As you begin to just as you begin to you slide, but you maintain your balance.
Immediately, Quiet would climb back down, seeing the size of the enemy. Like, I'm good.
Oh, no, I'm gonna take my chances in the ocean. Thank you. Okay, so the ship crashes into this ship, which is, I mean, there you go, aggressive act right there.
Right.
And I think that after like the second opportunity of like almost being knocked off my feet, Anael feels themselves kind of just like they get angry, and it echoes with the storm overhead. Like usually their voices is fairly normal, but there is also like the undercurrent of like if they're happy, there's like a little like breeze with them and that sort of thing. But like you can hear like a second echoing thunder like that is coming from Anael themselves. And I would like to rage.
Okay. At that point, a almost like a tempestuous, just small storm begins to surround you as you rage.
And then I am going to I'm going to move forward and attempt to, let's see, this 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, probably take a dash action.
Okay. You're still on that level as begins to tilt over a little bit as you dash over through the sides. 15.
Do I have to make a check to jump onto this ship here, or
you'll have to? I mean, it's still a ship, so you'll have to figure out a way to either scale up with a grappling hook or climb.
Can I not like I feel like I'm just like I jump and then like grab whatever like the whole of the ship and try and climb up it, I guess.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead and make an athletics or acrobatics check as you begin to try to scale to the side of the ship.
Let's see. I have advantage on strength, just strength checks, but not strength-based checks, so that doesn't make a difference.
So you at that, if strength checks flat out, I would allow it to give you an advantage on athletics. So if you want to roll it again.
I get worse. I get a 6 is my highest roll.
So you leap and grab onto the side, and between, even though you associate yourself with the wind and the storm and the tempest, it still begins to push you back. It isn't as bad where you just like fall straight in your face. But I would dare say it halts the rest of your movement for this round as you continue to scale up onto the ship. You make no progress as you do so. And yeah, that would end your turn at that point, unless there was
lame
at that point. Yep, that is what the check does. Arya, it is now your turn. As you see this ship, you begin to see the sharp incline of the ship being tilted over from the impact of this ruinous old dusty ship hitting. So make an athletics or acrobatics check first to keep your balance.
Here we go. Acrobatics better.
You maintain your balance, and you do your turn normally.
Okay, I'm trying to get a good view of where I can get a good line of sight from him. So I assume this is not a line of sight to that man.
While you're against the wall, I would say it is not, but if you were standing over here, it would be, I would consider that line of sight.
I go over here.
Okay.
Does he what's his demeanor?
He looks angry and he's kind of cackling a little bit as he's holding the wheel.
All right, yeah, that's a bad sign from our. She don't like that.
As he shouts, another army for the War Master, echoes through the tempest.
Yeah, you're not within 30 feet. I can't shit talk. Okay. Yeah, I'll just let a firebolt go at him then.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a range of 120 feet. Yeah.
Damn.
Roll damage at this point. So let me see, 120. Click for damage. 18 does hit as he is struck with 9 points of fire damage. Very nice. Very nice.
Arya laughs back at him with her creepy smile.
Meryl, it is your turn. Make an
Okay.
athletics or acrobatics check as the ship is now at a very sharp angle.
So I was gonna ask a question because
Yes.
I prepared like brace last round. Do I still need to do that?
I would say do so at an advantage.
Okay.
Good thing for that advantage. Go ahead and roll again. With an 18, you maintain your balance. The brace was the right call.
Okay. So has he hasn't managed to lay a hand on any of our teammates, right?
Not yet,
He's
no.
still
But
at a
he has said some barbarous remarks already about gaining another army for the War Master.
Okay. So most of my moves are kind of utilitarian or utilitarian.
Also, I apologize if you could just project just a little bit. I'll adjust the volume a little bit.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're good.
So I guess what I'm gonna do is I'm going to move towards him in this direction, but I have to keep my distance because I don't have a whole lot of hit points, unfortunately.
That's fair.
So I think right now, as a protection kind of thing, I'm trying to mend our ship
Okay.
using mending.
All right. Go ahead and so you cast the spell Mending, and as you do so, you the ship itself you can already begin to tell is taking quite a bit of damage. Your Mending spell begins to mend one of the one of the boards that are buckling, kind of reinforcing it. And after casting the spell, you realize at the amount of damage and impact the ship is taking, mending will probably not be enough.
Okay.
But you do cast the spell anyways.
All right. And with my last bit of movement, I guess, can I just brace again?
I would say no, since you spent the action casting mending.
No worries.
Yeah.
All right, then moving on.
Nala.
Hey,
The ship begins to buckle at the weight of this other
Yep.
ship that's made impact. Go ahead and make an acrobatics or athletics to maintain your balance. You go ahead and do so. The
Yeah.
angle now feels even steeper, but you managed to keep your stance.
Nala would. So are you saying that the line of sight is from kind of where Arya and Nala are right now? But
Yeah.
if I go up like,
If you go up
Up
like
here, she
against this
can't see?
wall, at the angle that it's at, once you start getting up to here, it's going to be difficult to see. I would say from where you're at, you're still in line of sight.
okay,
Everything's kind of at like a distorted angle right now, so some areas have line of sight while others do not.
okay. In that case, then Nala's just gonna move like a little bit. So she wants to move so that she's close enough to attack, whilst also maintaining line of sight. So let's see, would she be able to see from here?
You'd be up against the wall at that point, so you probably wouldn't be able to see
Okay.
anything.
Let me test. And so it has to be further back then. All right, in that case, she will use her dash action
Okay.
to run to the highest point, the easiest place to climb, which I assume is up where Meryl and Aniel are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she'll run there. So that takes, let's see, 40 feet. Okay, and then use the remaining. Can she climb whilst dashing?
She can. I will require athletics and acrobatics check, and it may be a little bit difficult with the stormy winds and weather.
Okay, sure. Well, she'll attempt that then, and see
Okay.
if she can begin an ascent on top of the ship.
Make an athletics or acrobatics check, but do so at a disadvantage as things are starting to get a little slippery with the wind
Yes.
and the
How
water.
do I do that on?
So you can right
Beyond?
click the dice and it may give you the disadvantage option. If you do not see such an option, which I believe you said you couldn't.
Yeah,
just
I
roll
don't.
just roll twice and we'll take the lowest number.
Okay.
All right, 17, and then roll once again. 11. I would say with 11, you begin to scale up with the rest of your movement, kind of reaching up to this corner. But then you would have no more movement left. Now you have another ship that you'd have to scale up.
Okay. And can I use a cantrip as a bonus action or no?
Unless the cantrip has a bonus action casting time, which they usually do not, no,
Okay.
you cannot.
No problem. That's my turn.
All right. Next up is Quiet, who is now already on the second level. Before the ship made impact, the angle getting ever steeper at this point. Make an athletics or acrobatics check to remain your balance.
Yeah. There you go.
You keep your balance.
Okay. How much space is each one of these grid marks? Like how many feet?
They are 5 feet. And
Okay.
if you're looking to scale up this ship, it's going to be 20 feet of movement.
Okay. So I am going to. So from here to the ship, or from the bottom of the ship up it would be 20 feet.
So this space to actually get up aboard the ship, I would say, not 20 feet. I apologize. It would be. I'm trying to think like all the levels that are there. 25 feet if you wanted to like get up on the ship with your climb speed alone. And then each space is 5 feet typically. But if you're looking to climb to scale up the ship, it's going to be 25 feet of movement just for that square alone.
Okay, so we got 5, 10, 15, and that's 25.
Yeah, so you need 40 feet of movement to get up.
And then. Okay, well, I think for my turn, I am going to just move right here and choose. I'm going to kneel down at the side of the ship, kind of pressed against it.
Yeah.
And I would attempt to stealth one more
Okay.
time. Just get a little stealthier.
Sounds good. All right. Does that end your round?
Is stealth a bonus action for rogue?
I
Or would that take
believe
an
it's a
action?
cunning action, which makes it
Oh,
a
okay.
bonus. If you get cunning action at first level, which you do not, you're a first level character, so it is not a bonus action yet. It will be next level though.
Okay. So then I guess that is my turn for now.
Okay. At the top of the round, I will say the ship continues to move forward as the giant ship, the cackling sort of like ghost, calling themselves the War Master, continues to laugh. The ship begins to move forward, and as it does so, this giant tidling wave with your ship already angled pushes forward as if this ship almost begins to cast off from the top of your ship. As it does so, the only thing I can describe is your ship that you are on capsizes. I need everyone to roll an athletics and acrobatics check.
I'm strong. I get a 19.
Dang it, just a 9.
The ship itself, as I mentioned, capsizes, goes at a sharp angle. You're able to keep your balance for the most part until the ship itself, it goes at like a steep 90 degree. And then it turns almost as the floor turns into a sheer wall. And then it falls topside, upside down as you all fall off the side of it as well into the ocean's depth. The impact blacks you out
Oh no.
as it all
Oh my
goes
God.
quiet.
Gosh.
So my mending didn't work then, huh?
Okay, I'm getting the feeling like it didn't. Yeah.
So
must
you're
admit.
Boot on a boot.
So you're
Okay.
saying the mending didn't work. I just want to make sure we are clear on that. It was a valuable
yeah.
effort.
Had to do it once.
Hey, you tried. The silence just falls over you. You're uncertain, as if is this the end? Is this the water? You kind of hear sometimes the sloshing of the water a little bit as you continue to fade in and out of consciousness. Various impacts, blunt parts of the ship just begin to tackle you apart. And silence is just eventually all you hear. Until a light breeze begins to fall over and you can hear a dull wind. As you finally wash up on what appears to be a shore of some kind. Can everyone see
With
okay?
my eyes closed, when I just hear like the wind and the breeze, there's like a memory, like a flashback where Anael like remembers something for just a moment. That feeling when you wake up from a deep sleep and it's like there was something there, but as soon as they open their eyes, it's just gone.
A fleeting memory escapes you, almost a thing of, would you say, of comfort?
Yeah, definitely. It was like, yeah, when you wake up and for a split second you're like, I'm home in bed and it's so nice, and then you open your eyes and it's just like, no, I'm at this awful hotel room that I hate and it's not my home. It's just like there's that like very comforting, like very like homey, just moment, split second before they open their eyes, and it's definitely not that. It looks pretty desolate.
The rest of you feels the splash of waves of the coast hitting the sides of your face, almost waking you up as you finally arrive on some sort of land. What does everyone do?
Nala would run immediately to see if everyone is okay, and particularly I'm seeing some bloody people. She would go and check to on those that look like they are the most wounded, which are the NPCs, I guess.
Yeah, you would kind of begin to run and wander off to these people to tend to their wounds.
Does she know any of them?
They look like just assorted faces that you've seen from the ship. Quiet and Aria, what are you two doing as you finally come into consciousness?
Quiet would pull himself up, kind of shake the water off, cat-like, and just kind of limp over to Aria, just kind of check on her, check her pulse, sort of deal.
Aria, you awaken to Quiet checking on you.
Cool. She'll like stand up and like try to wring some of the water out of her hair and her hat and her dress. And she'll like look around, like survey the area.
You've seen beaches before, but everything just appears to be desolate and dead.
She looks around, she looks at Quiet, she sees the bodies, she looks around again, looks back at Quiet, opens her mouth like she's gonna scream. Nothing comes out, and she just sits there and sits back down in the water.
Mara, what are you doing? Oh, sorry, go on, Quiet, sorry.
No, go ahead. It's all good.
Meryl, what do you do?
Meryl is having a slight moment of frustration with herself because she knew something bad was coming and she couldn't stop it. And so she kind of takes a moment to kind of like wet her hands and pull her hair back with her hands. And then she takes a deep breath and then she follows Nala and tends to the wounded.
And Anael, as you wake up from your fleeting memory, what are you doing?
There's that moment that kind of everyone took to like look around and see what's happening, and I noticed that like Meryl and Nala are going over to pretty much the only like land located person. So I think that what I'm gonna do is kind of like try and get a little bit more inland, just like quietly, like not addressing anybody else, but just like, where are we? Can I see any, like, if I can get any height, can I see any like wreckage out at sea? Obviously Anael didn't really care where the ship was going in the first place, so I don't know if this is where we were supposed to be, but it looks like probably not. So yeah, I'm trying to get like an idea of
Okay.
where we're located versus the last time we were awake, like we were out at sea. Like, is there any wreckage on the horizon? or
Right.
anything?
Well, all of you looking around can see pretty much the same thing. The beach that you're on, and you've seen beaches before. Wonderful sand, palm trees. It's a typical beach, but this one is suspiciously different. The earth itself appears to be completely barren. There are various mangled up woods of dead trees, barren rocks. Off in the distance, you actually do see the wreckage of your ship, completely torn asunder. And around it as well, the horrifying sight of bodies of people that were on the ship that simply were not strong enough to survive the impact of the ship crashing upon the tempest and the whirlwind waves. The ghastly ship that plowed and tackled upon appears to be nowhere in sight. The lands itself, this land that you're in, you don't see any life whatsoever. You kind of hear the moaning and crying of people at the wrecked ship over at the west. Maybe there are survivors. Might be something you have to check out. But the one ominous figure that you all can see that seems to highlight what is on the island is it's eerie, it's uncomfortable, but a singular, tall, sloping tower can be seen off in the background. And everyone, welcome to the campaign Tower of Archimedes. And so ends session 0.
Sorry, I got goosebumps, so I had to make a sound.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, that's it. That's the end of session 0.
I jingle.
I shake my bells.
I jingle.
Amazing. Oh, that was so much fun.
Yay! I'm glad you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna stop the recording real quick right now.